everybody. Happy Monday to you from Las Vegas. Got an interesting one today. We're going to talk about some of the ramifications of the pandemic here in, probably across the whole country and the world. I don't know. And the implications for the future in terms of service, quality, and I'm going to touch on that. First, I want to thank those of you. Yes, it's my birthday today, and thank you for the well wishes and the support. It is greatly appreciated, guys. I count myself very fortunate with the level of support that I get and that kindness here on the channel, and I'm appreciative of that. Let's get to it. The worst dinner I've ever had in Las Vegas, and I've had some pretty rugged meals down here before. Number one, I'm kind of cheap, as you guys know. Number two, I'm known as being the disposal, right? I mean, I'll eat anything out there as long as it's considered edible in the universe of food, then I will go ahead and eat that. But I can tell you what, last night, all of the things that I've been talking about the service economy and all the stresses of the service economy and all the problems after the pandemic and getting good staff and good quality all came home to roost last night. Now, we went to eat at the, which I usually like to do the first night, I guess they call it the Garden Cafe over at the California Hotel here. And that's known as a place where a lot of Hawaiians come into Sam Boyd's property, and it's a place that a lot of Hawaiians like to stay. It's their favorite place. It's usually been pretty good even through the pandemic. And I will say, even during the pandemic down here, when I was down here when there was hardly anybody around town, and there was hardly anything to eat, and I remember scrambling and complaining on YouTube videos that everything is shut down, there's nothing to eat down here. How are we going to get ourselves a meal down in Las Vegas? Well, that cafe was one of the places that was still open over there. And they did a pretty good job. Yeah, they reduced the menu dramatically. They knocked off a lot of items, but the quality was pretty decent. But it did not stress the kitchen at all. Okay. Well, last night was a totally different experience. We waited about 35 minutes in line to get in there to get something to eat. And number one, obviously they were short-staffed on waitresses, because when we were seated, the waitress had no concept of who came in before who and who was seated before who. So there were people that were being helped 15 minutes before we even saw a waitress at our table, despite the fact that we came in 5 minutes or so before them. Okay, I can deal with that, right? Then, our waitress finally comes over after about 15, 20 minutes, and it's not even our waitress, it's another waitress that says, hey, I'm just covering for your waitress while she is slammed over here on the side, which I understand. Okay, it's cool. Glad to have you as our waitress, Cecilia, or whatever. Good, right? We put our order in, and about 15 minutes later, here comes Mr. Z's. He ordered a French dip sandwich. Here comes his food. No problem at all. And she's like, oh, we just wanted to bring this out first because it's keep it hot, good. Your stuff will be out in a minute. Well, 20 minutes later, Monkey Boy and I are still waiting for our fish and chips. Not the most complicated thing to serve at a restaurant. Well, a little back and forth, signaling to the drink person who brings drinks around. Hey, can you get our waitress? She comes over. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I think what happened was she forgot to put the order in or whatever, or the kitchen just didn't hear. So we may have waited another 15 minutes for that food to come out from the kitchen. Meantime, the people that had been seated after us were already paid and gone, had already moved on. And it was finally our turn, and she brings two plates. It looked like with fish and chips that looked like you could feed an army with it. She brought just a huge blobs of fish, and I looked at Monkey Boy. I said, "There's no portion control here. Look at the size of this thing." So I swapped plates with him because his was a little small. You know, his was a bit smaller, and it was just a blob of three big gigantic pieces of fish that were all hooked together. It was weird out of the fryer. I wish I took a picture. And you know, they had the broccoli that's all wilted and lost all of its color, and the fries look, you know. I take a bite of the fish and I'm like, oh, first time in Vegas, I'm going to tell a waitress I'm not going to eat this, you know. And I said, what this fry guy did was he took a handful of frozen fish and threw that directly from the freezer into the fryer, and it made all of that fish stick together, and it was horrible tasting. I couldn't even believe it. So the waitress comes out and says, "I'm not eating it." She said, "Do you want something else?" I said, "Well, just have a little portion of macaroni salad." That tasted like crap too. She felt bad. Sure you don't want anything? I said, "No, I don't want anything. I just don't want to even eat tonight. I'm hydrating. I'm enjoying my soda here. Let's just call it good before we go further down." She's like, "Yeah, we got a new guy in the kitchen, and this guy needs." I think it's reaching a point now because of the crisis of finding workers that they're reaching the point of any warm body will do, and their quality standards are dropping dramatically because just to have somebody doing something in there to move things along, and they're not being careful. I think about quality has just gone down, and I noticed this morning and getting some breakfast that if you look into a restaurant or something, you'll see 75% of the tables are empty, and yet they're telling you got a 20-minute wait because we don't have enough staff here in the restaurant to do that. So it's kind of amazing to me, and it's something else that you got to be aware of if you're coming to Las Vegas. Now, it may not affect the high-end places, granted, but I'm just talking about kind of mainstream places. You're definitely going to feel some impacts of this, to be kind, this realigning of the service economy. To put it in harsh terms, the collapse of the service economy here. And the implications are going to be that quality is going to be going down, people are going to be aggravated, and I wouldn't be surprised if I said before there's closures of restaurants and things because they just can't make a competitive go of it. So just be aware when you're coming to Vegas that you'll probably wait a long time to get a table, even though the place looks kind of empty. Service is probably not going to be great, and you're going to have the additional problem of wondering about quality when you get your food and things like that. So anyway, that's my birthday rant for today. The worst meal I ever had in Las Vegas, a place that I typically used to enjoy eating at, but I don't think I'll be eating there again for quite a while. A thumbs up, appreciated everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.